All right, folks, buckle up. We're diving headfirst into the heart of America, a land of opportunity, freedom, and, let's face it, some seriously creepy, unsolved mysteries. You think you know America? Think again. We're talking about the kind of mysteries that keep you up at night, the ones that make you question everything you thought you knew. These are the top 10 unsolved American mysteries that'll haunt your dreams. You've been warned.
Picture it, 1960s California. The summer of love's fading fast, and a different kind of heat is on the streets of San Francisco. We're talking about the Zodiac Killer, a shadowy figure who terrorized the Bay Area, leaving a trail of bodies and cryptic messages in his wake. This wasn't your average run-of-the-mill murderer, oh no. This guy, whoever he was, craved attention. He sent taunting letters to newspapers, bragging about his crimes, even throwing in some coded messages for good measure. Cracked some of those codes, they did. But the big one? The one that might reveal his identity? Still a mystery, gathering dust on some FBI agent's desk, probably. Was he a disgruntled ex-employee? A true crime fanatic playing a twisted game? Your guess is as good as mine.
Fasten your seatbelts, folks, because this next case takes us high above the clouds. It's 1971, and a man going by the name of Dan Cooper, later botched by the media as D.B. Cooper, pulls off what might be the most daring and baffling hijacking in American history. See, Cooper wasn't after fame or revenge. He wanted one thing: cold, hard cash. $200,000 to be exact, along with 4 parachutes. Once he got what he came for, he did the unthinkable. He jumped out of the back of the plane, into the night sky, and vanished without a trace. Just like that, he was gone. Poof. The FBI launched the biggest manhunt in its history, but Cooper and the money were nowhere to be found. Did he survive the jump? Did he have an accomplice on the ground? Or did he become just another victim of the Pacific Northwest wilderness?
All right, let's dive into the fog-choked streets of 1940s Hollywood. We're talking about the Black Dahlia, and trust me, this one's a real head-scratcher. Picture this: January 15th, 1947. A crisp morning, birds chirping, probably a studio executive yelling at some poor sap. Anyway, amidst all the glitz and glam of Hollywood, someone stumbles across a sight that chills them to the bone. A woman's body, severed at the waist, drained of blood, and posed with this creepy, almost surgical precision. I mean, we've seen some messed up stuff, right, Ryan? This is a whole other level of messed up. Her name, we'd later find out, was Elizabeth Short, an aspiring actress just trying to make it in the City of Angels. But someone decided to make her an angel a little too soon, and the way they did it? Ugh. The newspapers had a field day. The Black Dahlia, they called her, a nickname pulled straight from the dark underbelly of Hollywood's imagination.
All right, let's trade in the glitz and glam of Hollywood for something a little more hairy. That's right, we're diving headfirst into the world of cryptids. Bigfoot, Mothman, the Chupacabra, these names send shivers down your spine, don't they? We're talking about creatures that exist on the fringes of our reality, lurking in the shadows, leaving behind nothing but blurry photos and campfire stories. But what if, and stay with me here, what if there's more to these legends than meets the eye? What if those grainy photos and eyewitness accounts are more than just tall tales?
Okay, buckle up, because we're about to dive into one of the most infamous events in American history: the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. November 22nd, 1963, Dallas, Texas. The world watched in horror as a young, charismatic president was gunned down in broad daylight. The official story? Lee Harvey Oswald, a disgruntled ex-Marine, acted alone, firing 3 shots from the Texas School Book Depository. Case closed, right? Well, not so fast. See, the thing about the JFK assassination is that it's like a giant puzzle where half the pieces are missing and the other half just don't quite fit.
The American West, vast, unforgiving, and littered with the broken dreams of those who dared to tame it. This land, with its sprawling deserts, towering mountains, and endless horizons, has always been a place of both promise and peril. For centuries it has called out to the brave and the foolhardy alike, offering the allure of a new beginning, a fresh start, and the chance to carve out a piece of the American dream. In 1846, a group of pioneers set out for California, led by George Donner and his brother Jacob. They were part of a larger movement, a wave of settlers driven by the hope of fertile land and a prosperous future. The journey was long and arduous, but the promise of California's golden opportunities kept their spirits high. They were chasing a dream, a better life. Each day brought them closer to their goal, and despite the hardships, they remained optimistic. The landscape was both beautiful and daunting, a constant reminder of the challenges they faced and the rewards that awaited them. Little did they know they were walking straight into a nightmare. The Sierra Nevada, with its treacherous passes and unpredictable weather, loomed ahead like a silent sentinel, waiting to test their resolve and endurance. This wasn't just some casual stroll through the wilderness. The terrain was rugged and unforgiving, with narrow trails that wound through dense forests and over steep, rocky inclines. Every step was a battle against the elements, and every mile brought new challenges. These folks were woefully unprepared for the brutal conditions they faced. Their supplies were limited, their equipment inadequate, and their knowledge of the terrain minimal. As the days turned into weeks, the reality of their situation began to set in. Harsh weather, dwindling supplies, and poor leadership turned their journey into a desperate fight for survival. The snow came early that year, blanketing the mountains in a thick, icy shroud that made travel nearly impossible. The cold seeped into their bones, sapping their strength and willpower. See, getting snowed in at a ski lodge with a warm fire and a fully stocked bar, that's a vibe. It's a scenario many of us might even dream of, a cozy retreat from the world where we can relax and unwind. Getting snowed in on a mountain pass with no food and a bunch of strangers slowly losing their minds. That's a different story altogether. The isolation, the cold, the hunger, it all began to take a toll on their sanity. That's what we call a recipe for disaster. The group, once united by a common goal, began to fracture under the strain. Arguments broke out, trust eroded, and the thin veneer of civilization started to crack, and disaster is exactly what they got. The snow continued to fall, burying their hopes and dreams under a relentless white blanket. Their wagons, once symbols of their journey and determination, now stood as silent monuments to their struggle and despair. As the winter dragged on and their situation grew more desperate, the reality of their predicament became impossible to ignore. The food supplies dwindled to nothing, and the cold became an ever-present enemy. The Donner Party was forced to confront a horrifying truth. They were starving to death. The once hopeful faces were now gaunt and hollow, eyes filled with fear and desperation. Conversations turned to survival, and the unthinkable began to seem like the only option. They were starving to death, and their only hope for survival was unthinkable. The thought of cannibalism, once a distant and horrifying concept, now loomed large in their minds. It was a choice no one wanted to make, but as the days passed and the hunger grew unbearable, it became a grim reality. The mountain pass, once a gateway to their dreams, had become a prison. The faces of their fellow travelers, once friends and companions, now seemed like potential sources of sustenance. It was a descent into darkness, a journey into the depths of human desperation and survival. The year is 1587, a time of exploration, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of new beginnings. The world was vast and largely unknown, filled with uncharted territories and endless possibilities. A group of intrepid English settlers arrive on Roanoke Island, eager to establish a new life in the new world. They were driven by dreams of prosperity, freedom, and the hope of creating a thriving community far from the constraints of their homeland. They build homes, plant crops, and dream of a brighter future. The settlers worked tirelessly, turning the raw, untamed land into a place they could call home. They plant corn, beans, and squash, hoping these crops will sustain them through the harsh winters and unpredictable seasons. But their dreams would soon turn into a nightmare, one that continues to haunt us centuries later. Dark clouds gather on the horizon, both literally and metaphorically, as the settlers faced challenges they could never have anticipated. Because just 3 years after their arrival, the Roanoke colonists vanished. Poof, gone. The settlement, once bustling with life and activity, is found eerily deserted. Homes stand empty, tools are left abandoned, and there is no sign of struggle or conflict. Their fate remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Scholars, historians, and curious minds have pondered over this enigma for centuries, each trying to piece together the puzzle of what happened to the lost colony. It's like they walked off the face of the earth, leaving behind nothing but a ghost town and a whole lot of unanswered questions. The silence of the abandoned village speaks volumes, echoing the uncertainty and fear that must have gripped the hearts of those who discovered the empty settlement. Now, I'm not saying it was aliens. Theories have ranged from the plausible to the fantastical, each one adding a layer of intrigue to the mystery, but it was probably aliens, okay, maybe not, but the sheer number of theories from the mundane to the outlandish shows just how desperate we are for answers. But seriously, what happened to these people? The question lingers, haunting the pages of history books and the minds of those who seek to uncover the truth. Did they succumb to disease, starvation, or conflict with Native American tribes? The harsh realities of colonial life were unforgiving, and any number of calamities could have befallen the settlers. Or did something more mysterious befall them? The dense forests and eerie fog that surround the abandoned village seem to whisper secrets, hinting at darker, more enigmatic forces at play. Theories abound, each one more intriguing and unsettling than the last. Some suggest they integrated with local tribes, while others propose they were victims of a secretive, sinister plot. It's a historical puzzle that continues to fascinate and frustrate historians and armchair detectives alike. The search for answers has led to countless debates, research expeditions, and even modern-day investigations using advanced technology. Archaeologists have scoured the area, uncovering artifacts that offer tantalizing clues, but no definitive answers. Scientists analyze these findings, hoping to piece together the story of the lost colony. Reenactments of colonial life attempt to bring the past to life, offering a glimpse into the daily struggles and triumphs of the Roanoke settlers. These portrayals remind us of the human element behind the mystery, the real people who lived, worked, and dreamed on Roanoke Island. Today, Roanoke Island is a place of historical significance, drawing tourists and history enthusiasts from around the world. They walk the same paths, visit the same sites, and ponder the same questions that have puzzled minds for centuries. As the sun sets over Roanoke Island, the mystery of the lost colony remains unsolved. The peaceful landscape belies the turmoil and uncertainty that once gripped this place, leaving us to wonder what really happened to those brave souls who vanished without a trace. And so, the story of the Roanoke colonists endures, a haunting reminder of the unknown and the unknowable. Vanished without a trace, their legacy is one of mystery, intrigue, and endless speculation.
The Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, a place that has seen more than its fair share of dark and mysterious events. Its history is a tapestry woven with threads of tragedy, intrigue, and the inexplicable, a place steeped in its own unsettling history. From its opening in 1927, the Cecil Hotel has been a magnet for the macabre. It has been the site of numerous suicides, murders, and other unexplained occurrences. The very walls seem to whisper secrets of the past, secrets that many would prefer to remain buried. Now, I'm not saying it's haunted, but let's just say I wouldn't want to spend a night there alone. The atmosphere is thick with an eerie sense of foreboding, as if the hotel itself is alive and watching. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of the lights feels like a ghostly presence making itself known. It was here, in 2013, that a young Canadian student named Elisa Lam checked in, never to check out. Elisa was a bright, adventurous young woman, traveling alone and documenting her journey on social media. Her disappearance was as sudden as it was baffling, leaving behind a trail of questions and no answers. Her disappearance sparked a media frenzy fueled by bizarre security footage from the hotel's elevator. News outlets around the world picked up the story, each newscast adding to the growing sense of unease and mystery. The footage, which showed Elisa behaving in a way that defied explanation, became the focal point of the investigation. In it, Elisa exhibits some truly strange behavior. She appears to be talking to someone who isn't there, making odd hand gestures and moving in and out of the elevator as if she's being pursued by an unseen force. The footage is both captivating and chilling, a real-life horror movie playing out in grainy black and white. I'm talking pressing all the buttons, hiding in the corner, peeking out like she's playing hide-and-seek with... Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Who or what was Elisa hiding from? Was it a figment of her imagination, a symptom of a deeper psychological issue, or something far more sinister? Was Elisa suffering from a mental health crisis? Her family revealed that she had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression, conditions that can sometimes lead to erratic behavior. But even with this knowledge, the footage seemed to suggest something more than just a mental health episode. Was she under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Toxicology reports later showed that Elisa had taken her prescribed medications, but there were no traces of illegal substances or alcohol in her system. This only deepened the mystery, as it ruled out one of the more straightforward explanations for her behavior, or was something more sinister at play. The Cecil Hotel's dark history and its reputation for attracting unsavory characters led some to speculate that Elisa had fallen victim to foul play. Theories range from the plausible to the fantastical, each one adding another layer to the enigma. The footage went viral, sparking endless speculation and theories online. Social media platforms were flooded with amateur sleuths, dissecting every frame of the video, looking for clues that might explain Elisa's behavior. The internet became a virtual detective agency, with thousands of people trying to solve the mystery from the comfort of their own homes. Everyone had a theory, from the plausible to the downright outlandish. Some believed she was being haunted by a ghost. Others thought she was the victim of a government conspiracy. There were even those who suggested she had stumbled upon a secret that someone was willing to kill to protect. The theories were as varied as they were numerous, each one adding to the sense of confusion and intrigue. But despite the wealth of theories, the truth remained elusive. The official investigation concluded that Elisa's death was accidental, the result of her mental health issues. But for many, this explanation felt incomplete, leaving a lingering sense of unease and unanswered questions. Elisa Lam's case became a modern-day mystery, one that captivated the internet and left everyone asking, what really happened? The Cecil Hotel, with its dark history and eerie atmosphere, remains a place of fascination and fear, a reminder that some mysteries may never be fully solved.
All right, buckle up because we're diving headfirst into the granddaddy of all alien conspiracies, Roswell. It's 1947, the Cold War is just getting warmed up, and suddenly, boom, something crashes in the New Mexican desert. Initially, the Army Air Force is like any good Boy Scout. They were prepared. They came out with a statement saying, yep, it's a flying disc, a real deal UFO. But then, quicker than you can say extraterrestrial, they backpedaled harder than a cat on a hot tin roof, claiming it was just a weather balloon. Right, a weather balloon. And I'm the Queen of England. Come on, guys. This flip-flop sparked a firestorm of speculation that burns hotter than a jalapeno eating contest in hell. The year is 1932. Charles Lindbergh, America's golden boy, the guy who flew solo across the Atlantic, is living every parent's worst nightmare. His 20-month-old son, Charles Jr., is snatched from his crib, sending shockwaves across the nation. The media went into a frenzy, the public was on edge, and everyone from law enforcement to psychics were trying to crack the case. Ransom notes, a homemade ladder leading to the second-story window, and a trail that went colder than a penguin's backside. This case had it all. Well, folks, there you have it. 10 tales of mystery and intrigue that'll keep you up at night, shining a flashlight under your chin and double-checking your locks. From the cryptic ciphers of the Zodiac Killer to the eerie silence of the Roanoke colony, these unsolved mysteries remind us that sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. So what do you believe? Were aliens really cruising around Roswell? Did Elisa Lam stumble into a sinister plot? Or was it a tragic accident? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more spine-tingling content. Until next time, sleep tight, if you can.